as human beings, we tend to make mistakes. We tend to make mistakes that affect us, that make us feel shitty about ourselves. And it's a cause and effect of things. It's the grapple and one of the, can I call them the downsides, or just one of the things about being a human. And that's solely what I kind of want to speak about today. Being a human means you're going to make mistakes and you're going to want to punish yourself for it. But how do you become better from what happens? How do you get up and become a better you despite what happens? How do you make a mistake into a lesson instead of a regret? Malika Oma is I, and welcome to Tetanam, the podcast for Africans by Africans. Now, technically today, I was supposed to be recording with a guest today. I was supposed to be having somebody come over and we have in the reading room and we go through some poetry together. Lakini binadamu ni nani? Binadamu ni nani? I got mixed up with the timings. Something that literally does not happen with me when it comes to my schedule in matters of who is coming when, what guest is coming when, what time. I never, like, the producer in me never gets this shit wrong. So yesterday, long day, got home really late, exhausted as fuck. And I didn't touch base with my guest because the day before we had touched base. And in my head, here's where the story gets interesting. In my head, we were supposed to be meeting at 2. That's the time we were supposed to record this episode, from 2 to 4, because that's the time I usually book in my sessions, from 2 to 4. Kumbe, for today, I booked my session earlier at 12. Mind you, I'm waking up at 10:30 there. In 10:30, I'm waking up. I'm waking up at 10:30, thinking that I have all the time in the world. So at 11, something tells me, 11:15 there, something tells me, Ebu, just look at this booking and look at what time you're supposed to be in the studio. Because something was like, Malika, I feel like you're supposed to be there at 12. I feel like you're supposed to be there at 12. I'm like, okay, let's check it out. And to check it out, I was supposed to be here at 12. And this is 11:30. This is now almost 11:30 that I'm making this realization. And then I'm like, oh, fucking hell. I have to start calling a bike so that I can make my way here. And then I was told, oh, your car has been sorted out. I'm like, thank you, Jesus. One expense out the door. Thank you, my Lord. But then in my head, I'm like, okay, let's go. Because now my guest called me just to confirm touching base. I told her, oh yeah, same thing. Now, I hadn't noticed that I told her 2 instead of 12. Right now in my head, I don't know this. So when she calls me, I'm like, oh, I'm actually about to leave the house, going to the studio. That's what I tell her. And then she tells me, oh, okay, then that means even me, let me leave the house. So in my head, I'm like, babe, I know where you live. You live very far. How are you leaving the house 30 minutes to time? That's something I can do because I live closer. And it just didn't hit in. It didn't click. It still had not clicked in my brain. So I get to the studio. I go take my shower, get ready, leave the house, come to studio. Get to studio. I tell the crew members that, hey, we're going to be running a little late because my guest is running a little bit late. Then something tells me, Ebu, look at the chat you had with this babe. Look at the chat you had with this babe and see what time you told her to come. I open my chat, I scroll, and I told her to come at 2. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my Lord. What the actual fuck? Like, what the actual fuck? So when I realized, I'm like, okay, what can I do? what can I honestly do? Because I can't control how fast her car is going to get here. I can't stop time. I can't book another slot because all the slots have already been booked. What's the girl gonna do? And I'm like, okay, to replace the recording I could have had with her, I'm like, let's go back to the book that we are currently going through in the reading room. Only for me to notice I don't have my book with me. And I'm like, you know, one of those days, things that could have gone wrong have gone wrong. Things that could have gone wrong are going drastically wrong. So I'm like, okay, this is what people would call a stressful situation. And for those who know me, know that I don't believe in stress, which is very interesting. I don't believe in the idea of stress because I feel like stress is self-inflicted. Because when you stress about something, you're worrying about something that you literally cannot control or change by yourself. So this is, for example, the situation I'm in today. And then I noticed, I'm like, fuck, I need to tell my guest that you have to turn back. You have to turn back and go back home, or you can't come. You can't come all the way now because utafika hapa tu na time slot ya leo inaisha tu. Yeah. So now you're imagining having to start that conversation with my guest that, oh my God, I got the timings mixed up. I got the timings beyond mixed up. Huyu mtu ako kwa gari already anakuja. And I'm like, fuck, what's the point? So I asked myself, okay, what is the point of making this person come all the way here for them not even to record anything, for us not to shoot anything? Versus me just telling them, cheki kama mi, ni kama leo itakatika tu hivyo. So I pick up the call and I explain what happened to the guest. And I 101% take accountability for my actions because that was a mistake on my part. Hiyo ni makosa mimi ndo nilifanya, sio yeye. So I explained the situation to her. I let her know, unfortunately, I can't book another space because all time slots are gone. And there's almost nothing I can do. Not almost, there's literally nothing I can do about it. So this moment would have stressed me. Should have stressed me. Should have made me want to now move heaven and earth, mountains, valleys. But I'm like, okay, there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do. And that's kind of something I want to share. And that has now brought us to now shooting this episode that I'm currently shooting. And a very unplanned episode, I must say. However, in a very weird and twisted way, it felt kind of planned. Not by me, but can I say by the cosmos, by the universe, by God, by the stars, Mercury being in retrograde or not being in retrograde. But yeah, it happened. This is the situation I found myself in. And I've asked myself, okay, am I just going to get rid of my current session and be like, fuck it, I'm not going to do it? Or am I actually going to get it done still? Am I going to do something? What can I do? So that has put me in question of how fast can I think? How fast can I think and how fast can I come up with something to do? And I'm like, wow, this has actually been an experience that I've experienced. And I think it's something that I should share. Thus, it has become the episode because as human beings, which I started with in the beginning, we are prone to mistakes. It's part of our nature. And at times, that's why we say nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. That's why now in here I find myself in a situation where everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong. But what am I going to make out of it? Am I going to mope and be sad about it the whole day? Or Am I going to think out of my feet, think as quick on my feet, and think of doing something, which is what I've opted to do. And it's really bringing me also to us discussing the idea that perfection is an illusion that we're always going to keep chasing, and we're never really going to get to it, because you cannot be perfect. I have been a producer literally, not my entire life, that's a stretch, but for more than 5 years. And this is the first time I have found myself in a predicament where I have had a mix-up when it comes to the timing. This is the first time this has happened to me in a span of almost 5 years, 5 years plus of producing. Which really just taught me, anyway, you can be so good at something. You can honestly be so fucking good at something. But sometimes things are just not gonna go in place. Things are gonna fall apart. And it's what you do after that counts. What you do after that matters. Because instead of moping and catching a feeling and canceling my entire booking session of today, I've thought on my feet. And it's a skill that I think as humans we really need to learn. We really need to understand how to think on our feet, how to adapt. We need to be chameleons. I always call myself, or I describe myself as a chameleon. If you put a chameleon on green grass, it's going to turn green. If you put a chameleon on brown back, it's going back like back of a tree, it's going to become brown. It changes according to the environment and situation that it is in. Yes, it is a survival or defense mechanism that the chameleon has, but it serves a purpose. And if you look at it very carefully, it is working with what it has. The chameleon is literally working with what it has. And as human beings, I believe that we need to learn how to work with what we have. It sort of also reminds me of a project I was doing earlier on in the middle of almost at the end of the first quarter of the year. And the motto that we were using is create from nothing. Create from nothing. And once you put yourself in such a headspace of creating from nothing or adapt from nothing, you can end up creating way, way better than you think you could. You can end up creating something with more impact than you think, because it's not planned, it's not rehearsed, it's not thought over, it's not over-analyzed, over-created, over-produced, over-processed. It's not. It's just coming out the way it's coming out. That's happening in this current moment as we're speaking. It's happening as it's happening. I'm creating on the go, creating on the move, creating out of the back of my head. And I think as humans, we need to teach ourselves how to do that. And we need to teach ourselves grace. Giving ourselves grace is very important. Like, yes, I feel beyond terrible about the mix-up that's happened today. I can't even begin to start explaining fully how I feel about it. But I'm human, you know? I'm only human after all. I'm literally only human after all. And instead of belittling yourself or hating yourself whenever you do a mistake, see what you can learn from it. What can you learn from it? What can you pick up from it? How do you adapt? How do you adjust from it? How do we become chameleons in our daily lives? Currently in our own world, and let me say country to be specific, a lot of change is happening. A lot of things, a lot of back dealings are happening. A lot of under the water things are happening. We saw it, actually we didn't see, and at the same time we saw how 8 laws were sneaked into being a law, if that makes sense. And the outrage is crazy. The outrage it's maddening. It's honestly fucking insane. And people are so quick to hate on the president, me being one of them. I'm not gonna lie. But in this situation, we are so quick to hating the man who put the signature on these laws. Whether he signed them or not, they would have still become laws because they passed through the Senate. They passed through the House of the Senate. That is where the laws are being made. That is where big decisions are being made. And as we get into a point right now as a country where we are preparing for elections, we are and having people to go and register as voters, even you go and register as a voter. And we keep playing by this game. I was having a conversation yesterday with my aunt, and we were talking about the game of politics and the game of life, and how we all have to realize politicians are not playing these games by themselves. They have understood that as human beings we are flawed, and they run with it. They run with it. They literally run with it and make themselves win or end up becoming victorious one way or another. And we sit here as now citizens, and we are constantly being so, what's the word? I don't want to use adamant. We let what's happening keep happening to us. And then we blame the person at the top. Not quickly forgetting, but the person of the top is just yani PR. Only mtu wa PR, by the way. The presidency ni mtu wa PR. Yes, these laws can be his dealings and his pushings, which I highly think that's what happened. But the people who have the power to stop it did not stop it. So as much as we are questioning these 8 laws that have been signed into law, let's also question the people who are reading through these laws, the people who thought through it, who discussed it, who said, yeah, the first reading, it's vibes, guys. It's perfection. What's the second? Those are the people who we should be holding accountable. Those are the human beings who we should be questioning. We should learn to adapt as chameleons with these politicians. We should learn to stop. We are so quick to hate the players and forget that we are in the game. We are so quick to keep hating on the players, forgetting that we are part of the game. We are the oil of the game. We are the mechanics of the game. We are the ones that keep the chains chaining. We are the ones who maintain that. But if we checking out in this situation, in this instant, is not just going for the person at the top, not just going for the person at the top, who has the influence, who actually has the influence when it comes to all of these laws being made. It's not the person at the top. It's the person it's your MP, it's your Senate. These are the people who we should be seeking for accountability way, 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 way louder. We need to be chameleons. We need to switch and adapt to the environments that we are. And we need to constantly find the loopholes. Everything in this life has a loophole. Everything. There is always a way. You know that saying, where there's a will, there's a way? I 101 agree with that. I support that because, yeah, where there is a will, there's always a way. The way is not always necessarily cute and vibes, but there is a way. And you just have to figure out how to find a way to pierce through the issue and the problem or situation that you're in. Is it going to be challenging? Fuck yeah. It's not going to be easy. Life is not supposed to be easy. Unfortunately, life is not supposed to be easy. But coming to peace with that idea will help you become less stressed, will help you understand that you are the one who is inflicting this worry on yourself. I think stress is a self-inflicted thing. I'm speaking out of living with so much stress at a certain point of life. Let me say 3 years ago. when I was, 23. Oh my God, wow. I remember then I would get stressed, like crazily stressed, to the point where my hair was not growing and my face was reacting. So when I get stressed, and I think it's something also similar in women and other people, when you stress yourself mentally, it translates to your body physically. Need to sip some water. Hydrate. Hydrate, guys. It's very important for you to hydrate. Today's episode is brought to you by Hydra. So yeah, stress manifests itself on your body physically. So in my instance, my hair was not growing. I had a lot of acne on my face, like a hell lot of acne on my face because of just being so stressed out. I would have a lot of stomach problems. It wasn't a vibe. I would have a lot of headaches, a lot of migraines, especially at the back here. Like at the back here, this temples here at the back of my head would somehow swell or become so hard and so painful. And then my idea of stress didn't even come from a book or from listening to somebody. It just came from me sitting down and speaking with myself and being like, okay, there are things that are in my control and there are things that are not in my control. If something is in my control, I'm going to do whatever I can, whatever I need to do in order to make it better. But if I cannot control it, why should I be giving it so much room in my brain? Why should I let it dictate how my day is going to go? Because I could have let the incident that's happened today stress the fuck out of me. I would have let it stress the fuck out of me, but I have not let it stress the fuck out of me. Shout out to Amari for being very patient with me. Shout out Kamami. As I told you, I owe you lunch. I owe you lunch, girl, and I'm going to get you your lunch. So I didn't let it stress me out because I can't control it. If you can't control it, you can't control it. You think of the next best thing you can do. You think of the next way you can adapt. You have to adapt. We have to be chameleons. You have to move on the go because you snooze, you lose. You literally snooze, you lose. You snooze, you lose. Unazuba hivi. Unapata mwana si wako. And it's the same in every aspect of life, be it work-related stuff, career stuff, be it at home, be it with friends, with families, with colleagues, with the constant people that you interact with. Human beings are flawed. We are flawed. And it's in our nature. It's who we are. It's how we were created. And instead of hating our imperfections, we can let our imperfections work for us. I choose to let my imperfections work for me. I don't think that we need this. You need a plethora of motivational books. I personally don't believe in motivational books, interestingly enough. I think everybody has their own what's the word? Playbook. Yes. Everybody has their own playbook to a game. It's like when you're going to a football match, a basketball game, a rugby, whatever. Each team has their own playbook. The game is the same, but how we attack it, how we approach it is definitely going to be different. The same thing in life. So yes, as humans, we are prone to make mistakes. We are prone to fuck up. We are prone to get mixed up. We are prone to confuse things. We are prone to literally miss the mark. But it's what you do after that counts. Are you going to sit there and mope? Are you going to sit there and cry? Are you going to sit there and throw a tantrum? Or are you going to make lemonade with the lemon that you have been given without any sugar? Because in this case, we don't have sugar for the lemonade. We just have the lemons. What are you going to do after? Are you going to look at the opportunity and become better? I was talking about not believing in motivation. Okay, let me not say not believing. I don't read motivational books because I think everybody has a different playbook. What works for you might not necessarily work for me, and what works for me might not necessarily work for you, and that's fine. That is fine. That doesn't make me a better human being than you. That just makes both of us human beings trying to figure this shit out. And at the end of the day, I think we're all trying to figure this shit out. We are, people always say, oh, when you grow older, when you're older, there are things you should be already knowing how to do. You should have already figured it out. But if we're being very honest, it's your first time being whatever age you are, whatever position you're in, doing whatever. It's the first time you're experiencing certain stuff. This is the first time you are living as a human being. I don't think you get a take two. This is one take wonder. This is one take production. We are not cutting until you die is when you cut. Some people get a second listen life vibes. Not everybody does. So at times that motivation that you want to seek is not really in that book that some white man wrote or some black woman wrote. It's not necessarily. Yes, it can be a guide, but it's not set in stone that this is the way to do it. It's not set in stone anywhere that waking up at 5 a.m. makes you a better human being than somebody who wakes up at 7. It technically doesn't. You're just both approaching your 24 hours in different ways, and that's fine. That's completely fine. So, make mistakes and learn from them. Now, there's something that wahenga wanasemanga. Kosa sio kosa, iwapo kosa inarudiliwa. If I've butchered that, please, in the comment section, please do the correctioning for me. But a mistake is not a mistake unless you've repeated it. So if you fuck up and you do the same fuckery up again, it just becomes you wanting to do that mistake. It just becomes you contributing and fueling the imperfective side of us as humans. You are not perfect. I am not perfect. And that is basically the message of today. None of us is perfect, but we chase perfection. And it's something we are never going to entail. What we can do is seek to be better human beings each and every day. That is what we can do. Seek to be better each and every day, each and every hour, each and every minute. And take whatever lessons that we learn in each situation that we're in. Take those lessons, grab them tightly, and use them to keep being a better human being. Perfection is an illusion that we keep chasing. But the moment you realize and you accept that you are not perfect, makes your life a whole lot easier. Not saying people are not going to be annoyed. People are going to be annoyed. But utakasirika, itaisha, we will figure something else. So be a chameleon. Be a chameleon. Change. Adapt. And once you do a fuckery, don't repeat the same fuckery. Because itakuwa, okay, now you're doing it for sport. Malika Oma is I have been your gracious host as usual. And I will see you very, very soon on our next episode. I'm so excited for where the reading room is going, where we are going with this specifically the reading room. I think it's my favorite segment. in the entire podcast. This has to be my favorite segment because we tap so much into the inner self. The inner self, the sense of community, the sense of identity, especially identity, because we as Africans are already going through such a crisis of identity. And identifying certain things in the human experience helps us become better humans. That's why we have the reading room. Do not forget to like, subscribe, share, and follow us on social media. On TikTok and on Instagram, it is Tetanam Africa. And on YouTube, where you were watching this on, it is Nyagir Tales Africa. Stay African and stay very, very radical. See you next time.